Hello and welcome back to the Larry D's Food for Thought Show. Today we're going to be, as always, reading out of that old King James Bible. We'll be reading out of the Old Testament and out of the New Testament, to the law and to the testimony. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. All right. We also be going over a few scriptures today concerning the title. When the needy asked of thee, give it unto him. When the needy asked of thee, give it unto him. All right. I am going to share these scriptures with you right quick. You can jot them down or take a screenshot if you like. But yeah, Lord had it written. He said, hey, look, we're going to always have the poor and the needy among us, okay, even in this land, okay? And he had told Israel this. He gave them instructions on how you should treat them, okay? And Israel's supposed to taught the rest of the world. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. Yeah, but we're going to take a look at these scriptures and see what the Lord expects of us when we run across these people, man, because a lot of people like to turn a blind eye or a deaf ear to it and walk the other way and ignore them. But that is not what the Lord expects of us, man. Okay. We're going to see what he expects of us when we run across these people because they're going to always be among us. All right. But anyway, I'm going to stop sharing these and we're going to go ahead and go over these scriptures and see if we can get a little bit of understanding on it because, these things the Lord expects us to do. All right. But we are going to start this in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy, the 15th chapter. And I'm going to start reading at verse 7. And it reads, if there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor harden your mind, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother. Okay, and that including this land too, not only the land of Israel, but over here, this is where we live. All right. Now, verse 8. But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him. Okay, you see that? Look, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth. Okay. And that is what the Lord wants us to do. All right, verse 10. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart and your mind shall not be grieved when thou giveth unto him. Okay, don't be grievous about it. Just give it to him. All right. And he said, open your hand wide, didn't he? Look, because that for this thing the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy work and in all that thou puttest thine hand to do. So if you do these things, Lord say, look, man, I'm gonna bless you. All right. But we're gonna go a little further. Let's go over to the new book right quick here. We are going to let's see, we're going to Matthew's the 5th chapter. Matthew's 5. Excuse me. And this is all in red right here. This is Jesus speaking himself. Okay. It's not him speaking through the mouth of his prophets, apostles, anybody, but this is him speaking himself. Okay. This is Matthew's 5, and I'm starting reading at verse 42. And it reads, look, give to him that asked thee. Okay. And from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away. Don't turn no blind eye or deaf ear to him. Okay? Look, ye have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. Right? But let's see what the Lord say. Look, but I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. I know it may be hard sometimes. Love your enemy, but look what the Lord say. Just do what he say. Okay, and what? You'll be blessed. Okay, look, verse 45. That ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. Look at that. For he maketh the sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. Okay? So God is not a respecter of person. He treats us all the same, man. And he expects us to do the same thing. Look, for if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? Don't be like those publicans, man. Look, you just gonna love the ones that love you. Uh, what you gonna get for that? All right. But let's go further here. Let's turn right over here to Matthew 25. Matthew 25. And we're going to start reading at verse 35. Okay. Now listen. And this is in red as well. This is Jesus speaking himself too. Look, for I was and hungry. Lord said, I was hungry, and ye gave me meat. Look, I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Look, Lord, when saw we thee and hungry? So when we see you when you was hungry and fed thee or thirsty, and gave thee drink. Okay, so when do we do this? Look, when saw we thee a stranger, when we looked at you as a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee, or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? When we see this, when we do this, look, verse 40, let's see what the Lord said to him. Look, and the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily, I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. You see that? Ain't that something? Oh, tell you, man, you do it to your brother, your sister. Look, you who you doing to? You're doing it to the Lord. Okay, plain and simple, right? But let's go a little further. Let's go right over here to let's go to Luke real quick. Going a bit Luke let's see. Going to Luke the 10th chapter. Take a quick look at this. This is Luke 10. Luke 10, I'm going to start reading at, let's see here, verse 25. And let's take a look at this. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? And he said unto him, What is written in the law? How readest thou? And he answered, said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. Okay. So let's keep that in mind. But let's look at this. 30. And Jesus answered said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. Look at that. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. This priest came down there and saw the cat, man, looked the other way and just passed on the other side and kept going. Look at that. And likewise, a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. Look at that. I ain't thinking about this guy, man. Look. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him. Look at that. Ain't that something? Look at that. And a Samaritan, remember that woman when Jesus was at the Jacob's well, and that Samaritan woman was there, and she had said, we have no dealings with the Jews. But look what this Samaritan did right here. Look, and went to him. The Samaritan, he went to him and bound up his wounds and pouring in oil and wine and set him on his own beast and brought him to an inn, like so what today, motel, hotel, right? And took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host, the owner, right? And said unto him, Take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee. Ain't that something? Now that man showed some serious compassion, and he opened up his hand wide to this guy, man. Look at that. And which now these three thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? Of course, we know it was a Samaritan. Okay. So, you see somebody in need? Help. Open your hand wide. Okay. If he asks of thee, give it to him. All right. But let's move on, because these are the things the Lord require us to do as children of the Most High God. All right. But let's look at this. Let's go to Matthews. Go back to Matthews here. Going to Matthews 22. And let's see here. I'm going to start reading at verse 30. 5. And let's see. And it reads, look, oh, this is Matthew 22 and 35. And it reads, listen. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, this lawyer was standing there, right, with the Lord. And we see what he said. He asked the Lord, asked him a question, tempting. He was tempting the Lord, look, and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. And we that sound like we just read that. Okay, look. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, if you love your neighbor as yourself, you're not going to do him any harm. You're not going to do no wrong to him. If he asks of you, you're going to help him. You're going to give him something. All right, if he need it, right? On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Okay, but that's what you do if you love your neighbor like yourself. And who is your neighbor? Everybody. Okay. So keep those things in mind, people. You run across somebody like that, come up and sitting on the street corner and they ask you for something, man, don't have a grievous heart. Just go ahead and give it to them. What you got, As long as I open your hand wide, you got two $1 bills in your pocket, then you got a $20 bill in your pocket. What you gonna do? Lord, open your hand wide, didn't you? Give him the 20 if you can afford it. All right, Lord know your heart. He said he ponders the heart. He know it. Okay. He know your thoughts. All right. But let's go back to the Old Testament right quick. I'm gonna go to Proverbs. Let's see where we're going here. Proverbs 21. I get over here right quick. Okay, it's Proverbs 21. And I'm start reading at verse 2. And it reads, listen, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the heart. I told you. When I say, Lord, ponder that heart, your mind, right? Okay, so that's why I keep them evil thoughts out of there, man. You gonna help somebody? Don't be grievous about it. Lord, no. But let's look at this right here. Verse 16. Look, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. What are you talking about here? Congregation of the dead. Look, man, what this brother say, man? He told the Lord told him come and follow him. He said, Master, it's up for me to go and bury my father first. His dad has died, right? So he said, it's up for me to go and bury my dad, and I'll follow you anywhere. The Lord told him, he said, you follow me. He said, let the dead bury their dead. What do you mean by that? Let the spiritually dead, bury the physical dead. So you wander around out of understanding and not using having any understanding. Look, you're gonna remain in the congregation today, be walking around, like a spiritually dead person. Okay? But you read this book and you do what the Lord say, okay? And get that understanding. Right? He said, with all that getting, get understanding, people. All right. But let's go a little further here. Let's go to Psalms right quick here. Let's go to Psalms 112. Take a quick look at this. The Psalms 112 and get over here. Psalms 112, and we start reading at verse 1. And it reads, listen, praise ye the Lord. Mhm. Blessed is the man that feareth the Lord. Look, when you fear God, you're going to do what he say, right? Look, that delighteth greatly in his commandments. His seed shall be mighty upon earth. The generation of the upright shall be blessed. Wealth and riches shall be in his house. Look, and his righteousness endure forever. Unto the upright there ariseth light in the darkness. He is gracious and full of compassion and righteous. Right. But 5, listen, verse 5. A good man showeth favor and lendeth. Hmm. He will guide his affairs with discretion. All right. So a good man, he gonna lend. If man asks for you, you're gonna show some favor and some compassion, and you are gonna lend to this cat, man, and expecting nothing back. The Lord say, hey, poor gonna be among us always. All right. But that's the way we should do it. What the way the Lord say, do it. All right. Now let's go right back over here to Proverbs real quick. Something else I want to show you right quick here. This is Proverbs 19. Proverbs 19. I'm start reading at verse 16, and it read, listen. He that keepeth the commandment keepeth his own soul, but he that despises his ways shall die. Mm. He that has pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord. Look at that. And that which he has given will he pay him again. Look at that. So if you have pity on somebody, on the poor man, and you lend to this guy, you are actually lending to the Lord. And the Lord, he'll give it back to you. You see that? Bet you didn't know that, did you? You're lending to the Lord, and he will repay you. For your good deeds, man. Look at that. But let's go to this last place right quick. Let's go over here to let's go to Mark. Go to Mark, let's see, go to Mark 14. Take a quick look at this. Going to Mark 14, I'm gonna start reading at verse 3, and it reads, and being in Bethany, in the house of Simon, the Lord was in the house of Simon, right? The leper. And he said at meat. There came a woman having an alabaster box of ointment of spikenard, very precious, very expensive, right? And she brake the box and poured it on his head. She poured that oil on the Lord's head. Look. And there was some that had indignation. Some of them got mad about that. Look at that within themselves. They got in there, and there were some that had indignation within themselves and said, why was this waste of this ointment made? He had no understanding. Look, for it might have been sold for more than 300 pence and have been given to the poor. Right. Yeah. Could have been sold. The money could have been given to the poor. You think that was what was in their heart, in their mind? Hmm. Look, and they murmured against her, man. Look, let's see what the Lord said. Look, and Jesus said, let her alone. Why troubleth her, ye her? She has worked a good work on me. She did a good thing to the Lord. Look, for ye have the poor with you always. See that? I told you they're gonna always be among us, right? And whensoever ye will ye may do them good. But me ye have not always. All right. She has done what she could. She has come aforehand to anoint my body to the burying. So she knew what she was doing. She was anointing the Lord for his burying. All right. He said, verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world, this also that she has done shall be spoken of for a memorial of her. But he told them, man, he said, man, why y'all thinking this like this? He told them, leave her alone, man. Don't trouble her. She is doing a good thing. Okay. But I want you to see right here that he said, for ye have the poor with you always. They're going to always be among us, people. Okay. And Lord, require us, if they ask of thee, to lend him sufficient for his need and open your hand wide. Okay. And you do these things, what the Lord say he would do, he will bless you and repay you. Okay. So don't have a grieving heart when you lend to somebody. All right. And I hope that you understood this, and I hope that you'll take heed to it, and I hope that it will be edifying. Okay. So that the Lord of all will be glorified. Do these things. All right. So with that food for thought, think on these scriptures and words throughout the course of the day. And until next time, peace.